This video is sponsored by Surfshark VPN.
Hey guys, it's Andong. Winter is coming, the days are getting colder, and that means one thing. This is the perfect opportunity for us to explore some of the best soups from all over the world. And we're gonna start with one of my all-time favorites, the ultimate heartwarming Turkish red lentil soup. Sounds simple, looks simple, well, that's because it is. But if you've ever had this before, you know that is exactly what you need this winter. Welcome to the very first episode of Soup Season. We have arrived. So, right across the street over here is one of my absolute favorite Turkish restaurants in Berlin. It's called Imren, and actually Eypee, who's behind the camera, and me, we used to have an office right upstairs. And most of the time, I'll be honest, we would get their doner kebab, which is their specialty. But sometimes, and especially on cold winter days, we wanted a little bit of a change, and our other favorite order in that restaurant was their lentil soup. Right now we're in COVID lockdown here in Berlin, so most of the restaurants are closed, but I'm praying that they have some kind of takeaway situation set up and can provide us with some of their amazing lentil soup. Let's see and find out. Of course, safety first, guys. Safety first. I think we're in luck. Something's happening. Let's hope they have red lentil soup. Hi, habt ihr gerade Linsensuppe da? Ja, zweimal bitte zum Mitnehmen. Also geht ja nicht anders. Ja, sehr gerne. Danke, Bruder. Ciao. Yes! Yes! Okay, this is perfect. You know what time it is? Soup time. Soup o'clock. Oh no, they did their best packaging this, but I spilled some. It's still steaming hot. The obligatory lemon slices, and of course these guys gave us some of their signature home-baked bread, or well, I mean restaurant baked. Okay, what a mess. I am so bringing a table next time. Okay, lesson learned. Yums, I'm salivating. Okay, I'm going for it. Oh, that's the taste of happiness. Give me a moment to enjoy this. Just a second, okay? The visuals aren't everything. Clearly. Like, this soup is so rich. It's buttery, it's comforting, it's savory, it's salty, it's super creamy. If God had a texture, this would be it. And of course, like, look, this bread that we got to eat this soup, it's... Oh my God, I forgot the lemon. And that is literally the last thing this needed. Give this the old shaker. A rich soup, a tangy lemon, soft and tender, fresh bread. Oh, how could I have missed the lemon? Yes. Just Andong enjoying his hobo life. Perfection. Perfection. Eypee, are you cold? Do you need soup? How hungry are you?
I'm super hungry.
Okay, then you deserve this, my friend.
Yes.
Can you smell the butter?
It smells so good. Oh yeah. Definitely a thumbs up, but they need a better, like a glass bottle or something.
My glasses are all foggy. Anyway, we're gonna let Eypee finish his meal, replenish his energy levels, and then we're gonna head to the Turkish supermarket, get some groceries, and see how we can recreate this exact soup at home so you guys can do the same. God, I don't see anything. So we're back at the studio and we're about to hit the kitchen, but before we do, let me thank this video's sponsor, Surfshark VPN. Guys, you know everything happens on the internet these days, especially in 2020. Surfshark is your friend when it comes to surfing the web safely and unlocking its full potential. It's a VPN service that protects your information by encrypting all the data you send through the internet, which already makes me feel a lot better when I'm going online, but there are so many more reasons to use a VPN. For example, I enjoy watching Netflix, but I'm in Germany and some of the best stuff they have to offer is not available in my region. So all I have to do is pull up Surfshark, and with just a few clicks I can be in New York or in Tokyo, which means I can finally have access to some of my favorite shows. And right now, until the end of the year, Surfshark is offering an amazing deal. If you use the link in my video description and the promo code Andong, you're gonna get this,
84% off. Which means that for just a few bucks a month, you can use all the great features Surfshark has to offer. Plus, you're even gonna get 4 months for free. That's like a third of a year. Surfshark even offers a 30-day money-back guarantee, which means if you try it and you don't like it, you can simply cancel your subscription, you'll get your money back, and you can go buy yourself a fresh bowl of lentil soup or something. Thank you Surfshark VPN for sponsoring this video. So you guys know how much I like long and complicated recipes, but Turkish red lentil soup is not one of them, which is why I decided to make it more complicated by including the bread. But as we've just covered, the bread is an essential part of this meal, and it's actually still pretty simple. So let's just start with the basics first. All-purpose flour. This is 1 pack of instant yeast, about 7 grams. About 1 teaspoon of salt, and I think I should also add like a tablespoon of sugar as a little snack for our yeast. And those are our dry ingredients. We give those a quick little mix. Now I'm gonna measure out some warm water. We're gonna go for around 65% hydration. Gradually add our water. Let's give the dough a little moment to hydrate first. I think we're good. I'm getting impatient. A little bit of olive oil. I'm gonna eyeball this, but around a tablespoon or something. I don't know, 5 to 10 minutes until the dough looks nice and smooth. I think this should do. You know, here's the thing. I both like long and complicated recipes, but I'm also lazy. And that is why, here's a tray. I'm just gonna like grease this tray with just a little bit of olive oil. That's a Jamie Oliver style little bit of olive oil. The dough is smooth enough, not perfect, but I want to try a lazy bread. Just roughly shape this into a ball, you know, freestyle, and plop it in the pan. And pre-shape it just a bit like this. Ich habe auf jeden Fall schön den Monitor mit Öl vollgespritzt. My idea is to both proof the bread in the pan, let it rise, but then also bake it in the same pan. Found another lid, and this one, not a perfect fit, but it's gonna do. You see, that's what I'm ready to do in order not to waste 2 sheets of plastic wrap. And you should do the same. Let's just let this proof and rise for about 45 minutes, and then we'll check back. In the meantime, we can start making our soup. Setting the stove to high, why not? First thing I'm gonna do is just put some olive oil, but also a little bit of butter. Pan is not hot yet, but that's totally okay, because now we're gonna add in a finely diced onion and also 3 cloves of garlic that I just kind of smashed into oblivion. I don't know if you knew this, but actually if you add onions and garlic to a cold pan or pot and you let them come up to heat together with the oil, they might caramelize a little bit less, but it's actually a more efficient way to get onion and garlic flavor infused into the oil. In the meantime, I'm gonna peel a potato. And you might be wondering, what the hell are you doing with a potato, Andong? And I can explain. So Turkish lentil soups always have some starchy component. Sometimes it's also rice, sometimes it's wheat bulgur. And the reason is that those will kind of serve as a binder, as a thickener that's gonna make the soup smoother. Oh, butter and fried onions. What could be better? Now we're gonna add a little bit of tomato paste, and a good trick when using tomato paste is always to caramelize that a little bit as well. Let's pop in the potato, our thickener, now. You did not see that. I'm not really looking to brown anything too much here, just a tiny bit. Okay, and at this point, I think we're ready to add our hero ingredient, which is of course lentils. Red lentils are the traditional way to go, but you know, just to add a little bit of variety to the dish, I also like to use half yellow lentils. And don't ask me what the flavor difference exactly is. We just want to toast those ever so slightly, just a bit. And now we are of course gonna add water. Let's season this with a little bit of salt, a few cracks of black pepper. And as the song goes, if you liked it, then you should have put a lid on it. And while that's cooking, let's check on our dough. Here it is. You see this has obviously flattened out, but we're not actually making a sourdough loaf or anything. You see I want to make this like basically like a focaccia maybe. This is Project Lazy Bread, so let's see how this goes. I'm just gonna wet my hands and kind of like flatten out this dough. This has relaxed a lot, so this is very, very easy to do. We can also just add a couple of dimples to this with our fingers because that kind of gives it that Turkish bread look a little bit. The final touch will be to sprinkle this with sesame seeds and also with black seeds. Now careful, this is not black sesame. This is, you know, black seed, sometimes called black cumin, or I believe it's the same as Nigella onion. If you smell this and you know Turkish food, that is like instant Turkish bread aroma in your face. Just very sparingly, I think is fine. This has already been proofing for, I think, about an hour in total. So I'm just gonna let this sit for another maybe 10 minutes to puff up a little bit more. In the meantime, we can preheat our oven and then bake this at 220 Celsius for, I think this should take maybe 10 to 15 minutes. It's very flat, so it's gonna be quick. Let me take this into the other kitchen, which is where the oven is located. See you there. Let's check how the lentil soup is doing so far. Yeah. Already smells like lentil soup. I like to give this a stir just every now and then to make sure nothing burns to the bottom of the pan. So far, no signs of that, so we're doing good. But it's gonna need a little bit longer. In the meantime, we can make the secret element to an amazing lentil soup. Let me show you. You take a tiny little saucepan. To this we're gonna add, you know, just like a cup of oil or something. I think I'm using sunflower. And now to this, we're gonna be adding paprika powder. This is sweet paprika powder, but you can definitely also use spicy paprika powder, chili powder, whatever. In fact, I also have some smoked paprika powder, which is probably not super traditional. I'm sure that doesn't make it less delicious. I mean, we're basically just making something like a super simple chili oil here. I have a whole video on that, on the Citronese chili oil, and that would definitely also work beautifully with this soup. Medium to low flame. We're just gonna let this come up to heat, bubble a little bit, then turn it down and just let it sit and kind of steep in the warm/hot oil, and that will be enough. So, we have some bottom stickage, but not too bad, not too bad. This is why you have to check regularly. Hell yeah. So if you want to keep this rustic, you can in fact just leave it chunky. Most restaurants, and I think a lot of people in Turkey these days, they just kind of blend this up and make it into a creamy soup. And I personally really love that. Check this out. Look how smooth this got. Very smooth. See, you would not get this level of smoothness if you don't add a thickener like the potato we added. Okay, I'm just gonna add a little bit more water because it's a little bit on the thick side. This should do for now. And also, there is one kind of signature ingredient that takes this from being your regular lentil soup to being specifically a Turkish style lentil soup, and that is dried mint. Yes, sounds a little bit weird and not very wintry, but it's just part of it. Like, you have to add a little bit of mint, and you can go as heavy as you like. I think about what, like a teaspoon or something is fine. Another round of blending. I think that is much more like it. We don't want it to be watery, of course, but we also don't want it to be like a paste. Like, you should be able to slurp it. It needs to be slurpable. Let me just see if we need to adjust the seasoning or anything. Nope. Although, you know what? I was gonna resist, but I am gonna add MSG to this because MSG does make everything better. And after all, some people actually use vegetable or chicken stock for lentil soup, and that's totally cool, but you can also just add a sprinkle of MSG and it pretty much does the same thing. Okay, let's stir that in. Let's actually see what the MSG did. Yeah, now the soup feels like I made it with stock rather than with water. And by the way, our bread is ready, and look how it turned out. Nice and golden. I'm just gonna brush this with a little bit of melted butter so it gets a rich and tender crust. Nice bottom crust as well. And I mean, come on, it's not the fluffiest bread in the world, but considering I put like, what, 10 minutes tops of active time into this, I think this is good. It smells like butter, and that makes me very happy. We have to let this cool down for a little bit. This is a little squeeze bottle. This is optional, of course, but I kind of like to strain out the solids from the paprika oil. Oh my God, do you see that beautiful red color? Bread has almost cooled down. Let me cut this. And I think I'm gonna cut this into squares, kind of like brownies. Just look at these. Just look at these. I think that's pretty damn good for a lazy bread. 1 ladle, 2 ladles. That's a lot of lentil soup. I'm also gonna add a dollop of yogurt. Not necessarily traditional, but I mean, yogurt is being used a lot in Turkish cuisine, so it's not crazy to do this. I'm not sure if this was a great idea, actually. Here's our infused paprika oil. I should have done this with a bit more confidence, but it's okay. It has more of an artiste vibe this way. Then, I mean, you totally don't have to do this. I'm just gonna sprinkle on a little bit of parsley. And then finally, the obligatory slice of lemon. Okay, I don't know what I'm doing. I am literally the worst at plating. It is what it is. And it is tasty, that's what it is. Okay guys, we just spent a lot of time trying to make this soup look good, and let me tell you, the struggle is real. It's very difficult to make soups look good on camera. But I really believe in this series because I think soups are awesome. And before I dig in, let me ask for your help. I need to know what the best soups in the world are. I already asked around on Instagram and I got a lot of good input from you guys. My research has already begun, but please tell me, what is the best soup you've ever had? Comment below so we can make this soup series happen throughout the following months. Now let me try this. Good spoonful of delicious red lentil soup, freshly homemade with paprika oil. And I'm not gonna forget this time, whenever you screw up, just call it rustic. Rustic. Now, finally. Oh, yes, it's very good. It's so creamy, it's so silky. It is very hard to believe that aside from a little knob of butter I put in here, this is a vegan dish. Lentils are magic. And you know what? I kind of just added the smoked paprika to the scented oil in like on a whim, but it's actually really good. It makes it taste like ham or something. It's good. Let's try the lazy bread. That's some good bread. I am very, very happy with how this turned out. So guys, this was only the beginning of our soup journey. Don't forget to let me know what the best soup is in your opinion so we can explore those together. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video.